Zaxby's, indescribably good.
And good evening, Raider fans, and welcome back to another edition of the Rocky Hidalgo Show, sponsored by Zaxby's. We're sponsored by two Zaxby's locations on Johnson's Ferry, one at Lower Roswell Road and the other one at Shallowford. But, folks, we're here to talk tonight about a great Raider victory against the Milton Eagles last Friday night as the Raiders came away from a 41-14 big win, Coach, against the Eagles as we dedicated the new Raider Valley, and the kids and the fans were sky high after the victory on Friday night.
Yeah, the kids played really well. I think we went out and did the things we were coached to do, and we had a great effort. Our fans were instrumental in that. There was electricity in the air when we showed up, and I'm just excited for our players and our community to come out like that on opening night in Raider Valley and get after it that way. That's you got to be proud of the team.
Now, Coach, you knew you had a good effort from again in the Brookwood game. You felt that the guys had played hard, but you dominated both lines of scrimmage, particularly on the offensive line. But when you and the coaches looked at the film over the weekend, what were some of the things that really, really jumped out at you from an improvement perspective?
Well, we challenged our kids going into the game. We wanted to make sure that one, we played, what we call Walton football. Is we want to come out and run the ball, a physical running game, and play great team defense. And when we looked at the Brookwood tape on defense, all but about 3 or 4 tackles were solo tackles, and that's not how you play great high school defense. We had more kids get involved, more guys running to the football. We played with a little more intensity, and more guys on defense really knew what they were doing. On the offensive side of the ball, we had 2 weeks to get ready for their blitz package and pressure package. The offensive line did a great job. We kind of had a good idea what they were going to try to do to us. We spent 2 weeks blocking our run schemes against it and protecting the pass, and our offensive line played an outstanding game. They're a defense that lives on big plays and negative plays, and we limited them to one negative play in the football game, and that's incredible. Just speaks volumes about how well our kids played up front.
And Vorster and Hogue ran very, very hard. Kyle Vorster with a huge night, even in the first half. Hogue gave you some tough running. Both of them look healthy right now. And do you like having 2 running backs, Coach, that you get in and out of the game? Because at one point it looked like you were running each of them for 2 plays and then bring the other one in for 2 plays.
Yeah, it's always good to have 2 quality guys. That's something that we have not had the luxury of. And we feel like we have about really 4 or 5 really good tailbacks right now. Mm-hmm. Darren Blaylock is an excellent tailback as well. And A.J. Collins and Alex Katungle are very good players. Justice Bailey, who's on our JV squad, is a very good player. So we feel like we've got a lot of depth at tailback, and if we've got a lot of guys who want to use them. And we feel like they all bring a little something different to the table. Kyle's got great speed. He runs with a lot of power, breaks a lot of tackles, and he gets out in the open. He can go the distance with it, which is he showed Friday night. Jim's got great vision, great feel for the blocking's taking everybody. If we want to get them both in the game, so he's got the hot hand and let him tote the rock.
Bradley Kilborn, your senior quarterback, I thought played very well, played very much in control. He looked poised, and then on the 1 touchdown pass he made at the north end zone on the fade route was a terrific touch pass and one of the big plays of the game.
Yeah, Brad improved a lot, and he's continuing to improve. Brad's been the backup quarterback for 2 years, but it's really his first time he's got an opportunity to come out and play. And lead the football team. He's done a great job getting out there. He's learning what to do. I mean, a lot of playing quarterback is not just learning what to do, but throwing on time, when to zip the ball, when to put touch in it. There's a lot of subtleties there that go into playing quarterback. He's done a great job leading the team and doing what we've asked him to do. Right now we're asking him to manage the football game and make a few plays here and there, and as he gets better, we'll ask him to do more and put more on his shoulders. But I'm pleased with the development he showed from week 1 to week 2.
Milton, in their first game against Cherokee, put up some big points and scored 3 touchdowns, I believe, in the first quarter. Their quarterback, McElroy, had 3 long passes. We score field goal. They go straight down the field, score a touchdown, but we respond after that and essentially shut down their offense, Rocky, for the rest of the game. You mentioned team defense, 11 hats to the ball, but what were some of the things that we were doing that just kind of got them so off balance?
One of the things that we told our kids is if we played discipline on defense, we didn't feel like they could drive the football on us. We felt like we can control the line of scrimmage up front with our front 7, and we didn't think they could drive the football consistently against us. So, we talked to the guys about playing great team defense, tackling well on the 2nd level, on the 3rd level, make them drive the field. And we did that. We didn't give up any more big plays until the end, and we had our 2s and our young kids in. Mm-hmm. We gave a long touchdown pass. So that was instrumental. I think we got everybody on the sideline calmed down. They've got great skill players. And you know, when you have those guys who are great skill players like that, you have to contain them, and you've got to tackle well. I think our tackling was much better this week than it was in the Georgia Dome. Another thing that we did, and I've said this already, we really ran to the ball a lot better. We had multiple guys getting a hat on the ball carrier, and that's important to limit big plays. The long play on the slip screen, you know, it was kind of disappointing. We still have some leverage issues there. Right. Leveraging the football, guys kind of got out of place in regards to the football there, and it's you know, we're a young football team. We're going to have some of that here and there, and we're working hard to correct it.
At halftime, the momentum's headed the Raiders' way. They're leading in the game. But in the third quarter, you come out and you dominate the third quarter. Anything you said to the team at halftime in particular, did you kind of get them ready for that third quarter? That you can, it's a family show.
Yeah, I said a lot to them. You know, I basically challenged the kids. You know, in a football game, the first 5 minutes of the third quarter are very important. It's going to set the tempo for the whole second half. Whoever controls the momentum after the first 5 minutes generally wins a football game. And I challenged the kids when we came out to come out there and let everybody know that we're here to kick their butt. And that's what that's what I told them in some different words, I would imagine. But that's what the message was. Let's let them know that we're not here to let them get back in the game. We're here to put our foot down on them and keep them down and go to work. And the kids did. They did a great job coming out at halftime, and they played some really outstanding football in the second half.
How important is it for you, Coach, to get some of your younger players experience in Raider Valley on Friday nights in games where you're able to get big leads?
It's huge. I mean, look, I want every kid to get a chance to play on a Friday night, and you don't have a lot of opportunities. You know, over the course of, you know, the 3 or 4 years of kids in the program, a lot of them, if they're not seeing a lot of time, they want to give up football. You know, it's hard to go out there. Football's a tough sport to go out there, you know, 3 days a week and get hit on and pounded on and not get a chance to run out on the field and get a chance to play. And a lot of those guys are scout team players for us and give us a look all week long. And I feel like our starters and the guys who play owe those guys. And it's their responsibility to make sure that they get a chance to go out there and get a chance to run out there on the field in front of the crowd and people cheer their names and do that stuff. A lot of them are really good football players, you know, but unfortunately they've got better football players in front of them. So, you know, it's for us, you know, we want to, when we get that opportunity to get the kids on, we want to make sure that we hold on to the lead and not let teams back in the game. So we can get those guys out there and let them have that experience. So when they leave on Friday night, they say, man, I got to run out there and the crowd's cheering my name. And that's huge for a kid.
Well, the Raiders come away with that 41-14 victory against the Milton Eagles. And this week they get ready to play the Campbell Spartans. And before we jump into a preview of the Campbell Spartans, let's take a minute for a word from our sponsor, Zaxby's.
Zaxby's, indescribably good.
Back here in the Rocky Hidalgo Show, sponsored by Zaxby's, with 2 locations in East Cobb, one at Lower Roswell and Johnson Ferry, and the other one at Shallowford Drive in Johnson's Ferry. Remember, Zaxby's after the game. I should maybe get paid for that tagline. What do you think about that, Rocky? Rocky, the Campbell Spartans last year in the game at Campbell was probably it was a basketball game. I mean, we were down by 18 points or something like that. Came back, went up by 8 or 10 points. They came back and almost grabbed the lead at the very end, but a shootout. This year Campbell's 1-1. They won on Friday night. They came away with a victory against Hughes, 35-29. They got beat up a little bit by Centennial in their first game, but what can we expect from the Spartans on both sides of the ball when they come to Raider Valley Friday night?
Well, the head coach over there, TK Dodd, is a guy who used to coach secondary for me about 7 or 8 years ago here. Okay. TK is a good friend of mine. He's a very good football coach. Played at Old Wills High School and basically Campbell High School. So he's the community there is really around him. He's a local guy there, and he's the right guy for that job. He's got a good staff there. Like us, they lost a lot of players from last year's team. They've got a young football team. They showed a lot of improvement from week 1 to week 2. They didn't, I'm sure he was disappointed in the way they played in week 1. They've got some very good athletes on the offensive side of the ball, a lot of big play potential. So defensively, it kind of goes back to what we're talking about. We've got to play good team defense and really run to the football over there and limit their big plays. on defense, they really run around well. They've got a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. Again, like us, they're still trying to figure out a little bit what they're doing over there. But they have the potential to give everybody a lot of problems because they've got speed, and what speed does, it eliminates big plays and makes you drive the field and forces you into mistakes. And so they've, as a football team, they've got a lot of potential, a lot of talent. I've watched them on tape from week 1 to week 2. They improved greatly between those 2 weeks, and I'm sure Coach Dodd is over there working his tail off, making sure they're getting ready for us.
Coach, three non-region games here as you open up the season, but I wouldn't imagine with the kids really or the coaching staff, it makes a difference whether it's a non-region or region game this early in the season. You just want to play well and win. Yeah,
we just want to, win. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it comes down to winning. With a young football team, we want to make sure we're improving every week, and that's really important as we approach region play. We've got Campbell this week, a tough game with Roswell next week, and then we get into region play versus Etowah. So we want to be prepared for Etowah. We want to kind of get all the bolts tightened and all the screws tightened down, so we're ready to go against Etowah in 3 weeks. The biggest thing is with a young football team is having a lot of inconsistency. We don't want to have any huge ups and huge downs this season. We want to kind of be steady eddies and go out and compete on Friday night. That's what we've got to guard against this week. Everybody's patting our kids on the back right now, telling them how great they are. We've got to make sure that we're getting better, ready to go against Campbell. It's a big game Friday night at our place, and Campbell's a dangerous opponent because they're a type of team that could come in here if you're not on your A game, as they showed last year. They can give you a lot of problems. And we don't want a repeat of that, so we want to make sure that we show up and are prepared to play.
As the boys came back to practice on Labor Day, you were laboring on Labor Day, as they say. Did you have to kind of put their feet back down on the ground? Because on Friday night, everybody was excited. That was a great victory.
Right.
And, Rocky, for you and your coaching staff, that was a huge victory as well because we'd been on a little bit of that losing streak, and it just felt really good to everybody.
Yeah, it's a relief, and it's not something as coaches we sit around and dwell on. And I've been asked by that from the AJC and the MDJ about the losing streak. For me, I think of it, that was last year's team. This is this year's team. Exactly. We were 0-1, and we got to move on. Now we're 1-1. We want to make sure we get to 2-1. But yeah, we had to kind of kick them behind a little bit on Monday. It's a day off. They had a day off from school. It was a long weekend, so they showed up a little sluggish. Everybody's a little sluggish on Monday after you kind of slept in until 10 o'clock. So we kind of have to get after it a little bit. On today, we came back and had a decent practice, and we want to make sure that we have a really good practice tomorrow. We talked about the kids, about focusing up and not worrying about what you did last week, not worrying about Friday, but living for right now and worrying about practice. And, we preach that message to them all the time. Focus on this, focus on what we're doing right now. That's what you have to do with the young team, with any football team if you want to improve.
Coach, we've had some injuries, particularly with some of our seniors, with Orrin and Rodney and some others. Kind of what's the general condition or health of some of your more experienced players right now?
Well, both Rodney and Kyle are practicing right now. They're both still a little sore in their ankles. They're ready to play on Friday night. How much I'll play them, I don't know. Rodney played a little bit toward the end when Kelly got banged up.
He did, right.
Kelly Brooks is ready to go. He's ready to play. Both Orrin and Zach Pope, who two guys were slated to start for us at linebacker, both of those guys are still out, and they're probably going to be out another 2 weeks. Zach's practicing with us. He could see a little duty. We might throw him in there a little bit. He's excited to get back on the field, but he's still got a little ways to go before he's really up to full speed.
Well, before we leave, Coach, I just want to bring up a subject that we haven't had a chance to talk about, but everybody came to see the new Raider Valley last Friday, the new scoreboard, which was a great effort, and Rocky and some others, Sally Winoker and others, really led that charge with football, soccer, and lacrosse, but there's more to come. Yes. And there's a very active solicitation for us to do more with a new concession stand, new bathrooms, but you want to just kind of give us a little bit of your vision as we go forward with Raider Valley?
Well, the thing we're trying to do with Raider Valley Renovation is we want to make sure that our athletic facilities match the reputation and the prestige of our academic and athletic programs. And when you look at Raider Valley, the upgrade we did with the turf and upgrade we did with the stadium, with the scoreboard, it just made a huge improvement in the stadium. But also what it's done is it's really highlighted how deficient our concessions and bathrooms and the paving and the fencing around the stadium are. And, for me is I want to make sure that our facilities are the whole stadium, everything in there is something that everybody can be proud of. When they walk in, they see the place, they look at it, and they say, wow, this is really nice. I think there is no reason that our community, the Walton community here, that we can't have a facility that's as nice as anybody's, not just in Cobb County, but in Metro Atlanta. And our goal is to raise $750,000 to build a brand new concession stand and bathroom facility with a new meeting room and repave the entire stadium, put new vinyl fencing up, new storage in the stadium, get rid of what we call shanty town, all the wooden sheds where everybody has their storage in there, and get rid of all those things so that when people come to the stadium, they look around and they see it's really a first-class facility. We're trying to do this. We have a great group of people led by Tom Cobb and Sally Winokur and Patty Zedrow and Bob Nichols, and I know I'm forgetting some other people, Jennifer Newsom, who are working together on this, and it's a group of people from all different sports and people who don't even have a dog in their fight here, whose kids have come and gone here at Walton High School, but we want to make sure that the school, their legacy here is that they improve the place. We're asking people to go out, and we're asking for 750 families to donate $1,000, whether it's over 10 months or 20 months. And what we're looking at is if people can give $50 a month over 20 months, we can get this thing done within 2 years and wrap it up. And it can be something that when people come in from around, they can look at our facilities and say, that this is something that's important to us in our community and that it reflects everything that Walton High School is, both in the classroom and on the playing field.
Well, Coach, you said it well. $50 for 20 months.
That's it.
$50 for 20 months. And the other thing I would just say as a parent has a student and one who's graduated that you never leave Walton High School. It's always a part of what your kids experienced. And so if you are a parent whose child is a senior, you should continue to support Walton Athletics. And the other thing is just from the design. Ladies, we've finally taken care of the bathroom problem. If you'd like to name a stall, I'm sure that we can name a stall after you, because I believe we're going to go from literally a facility that deals with 3 to 5 people to 12 to 15 or something.
The conservative plan has 8 women's stalls, but we really want to shoot for 16.
Right. That's
really what we want to shoot for. That's what we need in our stadium. So that's I think that's important. I hear it all the time from my wife.
And as well as from Mrs. Schreiner as well. But, folks, you can check out more about the Raider Valley renovation from the Walton football website, and there's also an opportunity to donate to the plan. And as Rocky said, it's $50 for 20 months, and no one is by any means making light of the situation we're all in, but you will find no better cause than supporting the young men and women that compete at Walton High School. Well, that'll do it for tonight. Once again, I'm Kurt Schreiner, along with the head coach of the Walton Raiders, as we come off that big 41-14 victory against the Milton Eagles, and we look forward to the Campbell Spartans invading Raider Valley. Game time's at 7:30. We hope to see you there, and if not, you can tune in and watch us on Raider Vision. Thank you, folks.